Hello, Shaun. Could you give an introduction about yourself?
Yes, certainly. My name's Shaun Bartle from the UK. I'm a property investment and sales consultancy business owner,
hmm
and I'm really focused on scaling both businesses over the next 24 months.
Okay, so some serious, I'd say heavy hitter there. What brought you to the real world, considering your skill set?
Yeah, so I'm actually a qualified accountant by background, and unfortunately, with accountancy studies, you don't actually learn about money and how it works. And what I was really looking for is somewhere where I can go that has actually got teachers that have done stuff in the real world. And that's where I come across Hustlers University, where you've actually got the campuses with the instructors who have actually done what you're looking to do. So for me, it was the right place to be. The results speak for themselves.
hmm Which campus did you end up getting into? Which one helped you the most as well?
Sure. So the first one I was in was the Business Mastery campus. For me, that was a solid 10 out of 10. The professor in that is absolutely a business titan within their own right. And what was really good about it is that it was very clear and concise within the videos. You're not sitting there for 2 hours straight with no break, not able to digest things. The videos are shorter. That enables you to take notes. It enables you to go back over it very quickly in case you've misunderstood something or you want to check it again. And what that enables you to do is actually learn at a lot better pace, in my opinion.
hmm Okay, love your answer. Let's go back a bit. Why did you actually decide to join Hustlers University?
Yeah, sure. So for me, I was really looking for somewhere that had people that had a proven track record in this. Because if you compare it to the normal education system, you have teachers that haven't actually walked the walk. It's all very well them standing there and talking the talk, telling you how to build a business. But if they haven't done it themselves, how can they actually advise you in the best way possible?
Mhm.
So that was one of the key things, is that you've actually got people that have built multi-million pound businesses that are experts in public speaking, that understand how money works, because these are all key things if you're looking to actually attain wealth for yourself. And
Mhm.
one of the other things that I really liked about it is that within the different campuses, you've also got a network. You've got people that are on the same journey as you. Some are not as far as you, some are ahead of you. But the point being is you can all bounce ideas off each other. It's a very friendly community. It's very safe. It's very open. To give context with the business mastery, one of the things I wanted was a sense check on my website and on my social media. So you ping the links in, you send in the sort of screenshots, and you get honest critique from your peers. And that adds a huge amount of value because it's not just the professors you're learning from, you're actually learning from the wider community as well.
All right. And which lessons have stood out to you from Business Mastery, which you have implemented?
Yeah, sure. So the two key areas for me was the negotiation. That's what's really helped me get the big results that I've been able to get, which we'll come on to. And the other one was the sales mastery as well. Now, they're both closely linked, but with the sales, I really like the fact that it included the public speaking element as well.
hmm
Because the beauty of public speaking is that you can do it on social media, you can create a digital asset, and you're speaking one to many rather than one to one. So it means
hmm
that your outreach is tenfold. You create it once and it stays there. You get the right hashtags, you get the algorithm working. All of this stuff is covered. And for me, that's fantastic.
hmm So, how do you get clients for this?
So in terms of how do I get clients from what I've learned in
hmm
Hustlers University? So at the time of joining, I was just starting the negotiations with what is now my biggest client, which is a research and development tax credit startup firm. And it was perfect timing because with the negotiation element and the teachings within Hustlers University, it enabled me to just slightly tailor my pitch a bit better and take it in a different direction that ensured that it was a win-win deal for both me and the client.
hmm Okay, I love that. And can tell you've been practicing communication skills because I don't think I've heard a single filler word from you so far. And you've just been very clear and concise. Is that something you've had for a while now, or is that a new skill set you've recently learned?
Sure. So I think it's one of those that I've always been confident in speaking, but actually since joining Hustlers University, going through the course material and then practicing it on my social media, going to networking events and actually doing public speaking, it's enabled me to take it from here to the next level. And I certainly feel a lot more confident in doing so.
All right, very nice. And then monetarily, what has joining Hustlers University led to in terms of income?
Sure. So with the big client that I mentioned that we've signed and made the agreement, that is looking to be gross income of around 500K from January 24 to June 25. That's if we hit 100% target, which I believe we will, because we've got the right team in place, the right strategy. We've got all the fundamentals, which are all covered in the Hustlers University Business Mastery Campus. And that's enabled me to make sure that we hit the ground running and scale it from there. So I'm more than confident we're going to hit that. And also through the crypto campus, it enabled me to make sure that I made the right trade. And I was able to make a small profit of around 15, 16K very quickly on a crypto run. So that was fantastic as well.
Now that is amazing to hear. So 500,000, and not even in a year, in basically half a year. So who knows what the end result will be towards the end of the year of income. And you're saying you use that as well, yeah. Was that following professor's trades that you got the extra 15K from crypto? Or something
So
else?
that was the investing campus, which is, I believe, Professor Adam, isn't it? And yeah, that was a great campus. I've not finished all the content yet either. And the reason I was keen to join that one is because as I'm building my own wealth, as I'm building my sales consultancy business and the property investing business, I want to make sure that I have assets in other areas.
Right.
So I'm very keen to jump on the stocks campus. I have checked it out, and that's going to be something I add to my arsenal as well. And for me, it's just about wealth accumulation in different asset classes. Because for me, the overall aim in life is to achieve the sovereign individual status, which means that I've got time, freedom, money, the choices are mine to make. And I believe that by having things like Bitcoin, physical gold and silver, by having stocks and having the right pension set up is going to enable me to achieve those results.
Okay, very solid. And you mentioned having a team. So I'd like to probe a bit more into that. How many
Sure.
people do you have working for you or with you?
So, sure. So in the property investment business, I have a business partner. So something that's really key, and this is actually covered in the Business Mastery Campus, and I think it's spot on, is that you need to work out what your weaknesses are, and then you need to find someone who's got that complementary skill set. So I mentioned I'm an accountant by background. I'm not someone that's going to go and do the refurb on the property projects we're doing. So my business partner is someone who's got 45 years of construction experience. They can handle that side of the business, and that allows me to focus on the high income generating tasks for the rest of the business. So that's point number one that's really key. And then in terms of other staff in the sales consultancy business, there's 2 members of staff. And then there's a person that we use on a sort of ad hoc basis as well. Then with my big client, we've currently got 10 staff and we're aiming to be at 14 by the end of this year. And that's a mixture of full-time employees and full-time contractors.
All right. And what's that like running a team of 10 to 14 people?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you get a different dynamic of people depending on what the role's in. So what's very important for you as the business owner and the entrepreneur, or in this case, the consultant acting as managing director, i.e. running the day-to-day business, you need to be able to deal with different personality types. And again, this was covered in the Business Mastery Campus, and it's absolutely pivotal for anyone who wants to build a team, because not everyone's going to have the same personality traits of you. So you need to be able to articulate your message to different types of personalities. Some people are very emotional, so they need emotive words being used. Some people are very direct and they don't want all the sales fluff around it. It's just get straight to the point. So you need to be able to get your message across to these different people to ensure that you're all working on one path and achieving the same results.
Very interesting. What about cultivating the culture within the work environment? Do you focus
Yeah,
on that as well? Do you have a certain
absolutely.
culture?
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes from the top. That's what's really important, in my opinion. So as the leader of the business, you're the one that has to have the vision. You need to be able to actually set that vision and then set the plan in place so that everyone is working towards it together. So for me, I'm very much a believer in rewarding people. So with my client, for instance, when I've come in as managing director, one of the first things I did was look at all the pay structures and all the bonuses and things that surround that. And then I improved it. Because what I've said to people is, look, we've got a big target to hit. It's not going to be easy, but here's what's on the table for you. Some of it's financial benefit. So I introduced commission. I introduced bonus structures on a quarterly basis as well as annual. That's going to give them the financial incentive to ensure that they're working towards that target. But then on top of that, because let's be honest, for everyone, money isn't the biggest motivator. Some people want more time with their family, more freedom. I've also introduced non-monetary benefits. So if we hit the quarterly targets, there's an extra day of annual leave given. So that's a day they're being paid to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's little things like that go a long way. It instills loyalty, and it also shows that you're leading from the front, that you're not just talking a big game, and actually that there's a lot that people can earn and do just by working together as a team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what kind of character traits do you look for when hiring?
I think it's going to be dependent on the role. However, as a generic thing, I'm looking for people that are motivated, people that are loyal. Loyalty is something that's massively underrated. One of the key things I also look for with people is discipline. That's my word of 2024, because discipline is something that seems to be missed in today's society. And I think that discipline is important for any part of a business, because if someone isn't got that discipline in place, it means they could turn lazy. They might sort of slack off. And then what that does is that impacts the wider team. So you always have to think about the bigger picture, in my opinion. So they're key traits that I look for. And I'm also looking for people that are hungry. You know, what is their motivation? So I always look for the PFP, which is their personal motivation, their financial motivation, and then their professional motivation. Because if you cover those 3 points, I then believe that you've actually got a very good idea of who you're sitting in front of, and then you can ascertain whether this is someone's a good fit for the team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you say loyalty, how do you judge if someone is loyal? How? Yeah.
That's a great question. And actually, in the Business Mastery Campus, there is a very good video on this. And one of the key things I took away from it is that ask them the question about their previous employer and their previous team, because the way they answer that is going to tell you a lot about that person. Because if they just sit there and slag off their previous boss and company and make out that actually it was all of the other company's fault that they didn't hit their targets and achieve what they want to achieve, that suggests that that person doesn't have any accountability, and also it's not very loyal to these people that were paying them. So I think that's a great question that you can ask to try and ascertain whether someone has any loyalty within them.
All right. Completely makes sense. And yeah, thank you for sharing all of these things. I'm learning new techniques myself, so I appreciate it.
No worries.
All right. And how did you actually end up landing the 500,000? Is it pounds, dollars, euros?
Yes, that's pounds. I'm based in the UK, so it's projected to be 500k gross income over 18 months. So it's from January to June.
Got it.
And with that actually come through social media. So that was from having a very strong LinkedIn profile. And what happened is the 2 founders of the business, one of them reached out to me. I liked the initial proposal, and we started having a conversation from there. And it was perfect timing, because it was around that time that I joined Hustlers University. And I went through the business mastery content, and there were snippets from all of it that were actually relevant to that negotiation with the client.
Perfect timing. Okay. And has your average day changed at all since joining the real world? I mean, since joining Hustlers University? And if it has, how?
Yeah, it has. I think I've instilled some more discipline within myself. So within some of the campuses, there are daily checklists, and then it's down to you as the individual to make sure you're actually doing those things and being honest about it. So definitely discipline has improved. Now, it wasn't a weakness, but I believe that everything can be improved. So that was something. And also, I like to get involved in the chats, because as much as it's good for me to put my stuff in and ask for opinions, I like to give my own and see if I can help other people as well. So it's a really great network, and it just adds to the professional and social element of my day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And since you're on this trajectory, where is your life heading in short term, medium term, and long term?
Sure. So in the short term, one of the aims is to build the property portfolio. So we work on a joint venture basis and get private funders to come in on our deals. So one of the aims within this calendar year, January to December, is to get the property income to 100k gross. And then over the next 18 months, so from January to June, is to hit that full target with my clients so that I get that 500k income from there. Then I want to start parking some of them funds into other assets as well. So I want to build up my physical gold and silver portfolio. I want to build up my stocks portfolio and really start creating that generational wealth, because I'm not from an affluent background. I'm
Mhm.
from a council estate in Essex, in the UK, very rough part of Essex, not a nice place to grow up. I don't live there now because I didn't want my son to grow up there. And so for me, that's the short term. With the medium and more long term aim, as I alluded to earlier, is to create that generational wealth and get that individual sovereignty where I've got multiple passports, I've got houses in different countries, assets in different countries, so that I have that freedom and flexibility to do what I
Mhm.
want and live life on my terms.
Sounds very solid. Good to hear you have such a good direction and to see how far you've come. Because I'm from Council Flat myself in Essex, so we can speak after to see if we were nearby
Definitely,
each other. But yeah, completely
definitely.
understand that. So yeah, again, great to hear just how much you've done from your starting point.
Yeah,
And I think for first interview, we can wrap up with a final question,
sure.
and then later do a follow up interview to check up on you and do a progress update. But
Absolutely.
for people who are unsure about joining Hustlers University because they're
Yeah,
thinking it could be a scam for the $50, what
yeah.
advice would you have to them?
The first thing I would say is, what's it going to cost you if you don't do it? Because I'm a big believer in the best places to be are the rooms that you pay for. And if you consider that £50 a month is expensive, then I think Hustlers University is absolutely the place you need to be, because you need to adjust your mindset and actually get into the real world of how things work. Second point is that you need to have multiple sources of income. You're not going to learn this stuff in the normal education system. You're not really going to learn this stuff by working a career. For instance, if you're an engineer or an accountant, you typically stick with that and just work your way up the ladder. You don't learn about stocks. You don't learn about crypto. You don't learn business mastery. And particularly at the moment, with the way the world's going with AI, the AI campus is absolutely one that everyone needs to be involved in. Because
Mm.
if you're not up to date with these things, you're going to get left behind. So for me, it's really important that you're in the right rooms, and those right rooms are in Hustlers University.
Very, very well answered. Okay, and for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
Yeah, so on Instagram, the company page is Blue Wolf Assets. So that's blue as in the color, wolf as in the animal, and then assets. Put a lot of content out there. You can follow our journey on the property space, and I also share a lot of tips in terms of how to invest in property and what to look out for when you're building that business. So there's general business tips as well.
Okay, so I'll add those to description of video. If there will be any other links you'll want to give, just message me them, and yeah, everything will be in description. And Sean,
Certainly.
thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Great to see success stories like yours. I hope the listener learned some new insights just like I did. And I look forward to next one, as I said before, just to do a follow up with you. Because with the trajectory you're on, seems like you have a lot more to update in 3, 4 months, maybe in 5. We'll see. But until
Yeah.
then, wish you all the best.
Take care. Thank you very much.